to this special Info Hub edition, which will focus on the inaugural Guyana International Business Summit and Exhibition, GIPEX 2018. The historic summit and exhibition was successfully hosted from February 7 to 9 at the Marriott Hotel.
Local businesses will be interacting with some of the biggest names in the energy industry. Go Invest chair Patricia Bacchus is urging investors to maximize on the immense opportunities available in Guyana's emerging oil and gas industry.
I would urge all the participants to view the gaps in our economic activities not as shortcomings, but instead as opportunities. GIPEX provides a forum through which the emerging oil and gas sector can be carefully explored with a view to determining the various economic opportunities along the value chain that are ripe for investment.
As Guyana continues its projection towards oil production in 2020, Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman is assuring that the country will not be known just for oil.
We don't want simply to be known as an oil-producing nation, but rather as a country that took its resources and revenues and used them to fashion and carve a nation that is geographically and strategically positioned to produce the food that is required and will be required for the 48 million people who are projected to inhabit the Caribbean by 2050.
For Info Hub, Tiffany Rogers.
The government is working to ensure that a strong regulatory framework is in place to govern the emerging oil and gas industry.
We are on a fast-paced approach because Exxon had said to us that they can develop this resource in 5 or under years or under, and so by 2020 we hope to start producing, and so some fundamentals have to be put in place. There's the fiscal and taxation side of it, which is the responsibility of the Minister of Finance. He's working overtime, I know, with his staff, both at the Ministry, GRA, Bureau of Statistics. They're working to boost capacity, and we're getting support from international agencies.
Minister Trotman alluded to the work that the Ministry of Public Infrastructure is conducting to ensure that road and onshore infrastructure, as well as the international airports at Tamari and Ogle, are of the required standard. The work of the Maritime Administration, MARAD, was also pointed out. The Ministry of Business is working assiduously to guarantee that there is sufficient local content.
That means that Guyanese individuals, partnerships, business, big companies have a stake, have a say in this, and so I know much work is happening there.
He reminded of the critical role of the agencies that fall under the ambit of the Ministry of the Presidency, such as the Department of the Environment, Civil Defense Commission, and the Environmental Protection Agency.
Ensuring that permits which are sought for environmental licenses are properly scrutinized, the applications that we issue licenses with strict conditionalities, that is happening. And at the Ministry of Natural Resources, we also are working, we've just finished an overhaul of the Petroleum Act, which is the 1986 Act. We have worked with the Ministry of Finance to develop the Natural Resource Fund Bill, which is a sovereign wealth fund. The Ministry of Finance has that and is coming with it later in the year.
In 2017, the Petroleum Commission of Guyana was taken to the National Assembly. However, Minister Trotman informed that the bill is being held back to facilitate some changes.
To make it more inclusive, it's a national asset, not to be seen in a partisan way, and even though the intention is not for us to control, we don't want that accusation to be made or for it to permeate, because this is a national resource.
According to the Natural Resources Minister, on the legislative front, experts have been hired to boost the ministry's capacity on a wide scale. In relation to preparation for the eventuality of oil spills, the CDC has a draft national response plan, and government will soon sign a memorandum of understanding with Trinidad and Tobago. Fuel can spur global economic growth and, more importantly, Guyana's green state development strategy.
ExxonMobil's Vice President Lisa Water believes Guyana can be part of the global solution to promote human development with the advent of its oil discovery.
The emerging petroleum industry here in Guyana can be proud to be part of the solution to meeting the growing demand for energy. Not only will oil and gas development here bring many benefits to the people of Guyana, but Guyana will be helping to fuel economic growth around the world.
Waters noted that right here at home, Guyanese could begin to see the improvement of living standards with the consideration of bringing the natural gas to shore.
This revenue will enable Guyanese to enjoy things like new schools for your children, improved medical facilities, and better roads. Another opportunity being discussed and made possible by this new industry is bringing natural gas to shore for lower cost electricity. This is a way all of society here would see and feel the improvement. Lower cost electricity would not only benefit everyday citizens in their homes, but also help make it easier for new local businesses to start up and grow.
Sustainable oil exploitation is being seen as important as Guyana undertakes to become a green state. According to Director of Environment NDB Schweers, oil production and the Green State agenda can be compatible.
I believe that a successful transition towards a green state requires two key imperatives. First of all, it requires sustained financial resources as an enabler to the structural and other transformations that are needed in the country. And second of all, I believe it requires a qualified and skilled labor force with the skills and expertise that are needed to drive green growth in the country. These requirements are congruent with that of President David Granger's position on the matter. The President has stated that the country has to walk on two legs by balancing oil exploration and sustainable development.
Schweers noted the oil sector plays an important facilitating role in building a diversified green economy.
As we embark on a path that offers the promise of improved human well-being, social equity, a reduction in our carbon footprint, further reduction, and efficient use of our natural resources, we encourage you and all of you to support us in this noble task.
For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
GIPEX is considered a testimony to the interest that Guyana's oil and gas industry is generating, and international businesses are keen to develop partnerships.
Exxon's country manager, Rod Henson, said the opportunity to build capacity will ultimately be beneficial for Guyana's oil and gas industry.
Building their network of other experts in the industry, we think is really going to be beneficial, and it's going to help us as we go forward through the years to accelerate the capability here in Guyana.
Henson said the historic summit has exceeded expectations so far.
It's kind of a testament to the interest in Guyana that you can have this kind of participation in the first year.
GIPEX is intended to facilitate partnership and capacity building between local and international companies in the oil and gas industry. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
Local content remains a major concern for local stakeholders in the development of the industry. 10 University of Guyana graduates have been given the opportunity to work on the construction of the subsea equipment that will be used to extract oil. The training is provided by Technip FMC, the company that won the contract to build and install the subsea equipment for Exxon's offshore oil development. International Service Manager Carlos Latore said it is part of the company's commitment to local content development.
So that's where we're really putting all of our efforts. We hired 10 engineers from the University of Guyana. They have been in Brazil for 5 months now. Very bright kids. We're very pleased with the quality of the educational system. And our expectation is that after 18 months of training, these engineers probably will start helping out with the installation of the equipment. And in time, they will be the leads, the service leads, the managers that are going to, lead the industry.
Latore said the company plans to continue developing Guyanese capacity during its time in Guyana.
We have a very strict training system. We even have what we call the Technip FMC University. We have a full-time staff of our hundreds of people whose only job is to train the others. It's extremely formal. We have facilities in our main hubs. And yes, absolutely, we need to keep bringing more talent to our ranks. And that's something that we take very seriously, to the point that we don't outsource it. We partner with good institutions like the University of Guyana, like the technical institutes that you have across the country, and that's going to be a constant feature of our campaign here. Absolutely.
Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Ivelaw Griffith, said it is important that Guyanese must be active in the development of their capacities. He noted that the university is currently introducing courses to fill gaps in the oil and gas industry.
Last year, we established a School of Entrepreneurship and Business Innovation, a school which, when we were designing it, I said to the feasibility team, we've got to think of what the energy adventure will be and plan for that adventure. And so in the School of Entrepreneurship and Business Innovation, we have degrees in logistics and supply chain management. We're offering accountancy, finance, marketing, things that I know, things that we know will be needed not only for the general business environment, but for the adventure of oil and gas that we're on.
Engineer Priscilla Moore is a graduate from the university who is excited about the prospects of working in the oil and gas industry.
Well, so far, since I've been working with ground structures, which has been a year, I've done a lot of different things. Well, first of all, I've worked offshore as a soil technician along the Fugro Explorer ship. And in that experience, I gained a lot of confidence in my work. I was trained, and I can say that I didn't see my career skyrocketing so soon as I graduated last year from the University of Guyana.
Ground Structures Engineering Consultants Company has entered into a joint venture partnership with Fugro, a global offshore and onshore geotechnical and survey services company. Local businesses say they are ready to partner and build capacity to service the oil and gas industry. A number of joint ventures were established during GIPEX. 5 local companies announced their partnerships with regional and international companies during the inaugural Guyana Petroleum Business Summit and Exhibition, GIPEX. Chief Executive Officer of Guyana Office for Investment, GoInvest, Owen Verwey, speaking at a media conference on Friday, announced that a joint venture was established between School of the Nations and Canadian company Lauren Corr on the sidelines of GIPEX.
I know there's another one that is going on right now between 2 entities in the engineering, design and feasibility area. There's another one that is going on in the laboratory and medical research related industries. And I think there's one other, I can't remember exactly. I prefer to leave those entities to make their information public and get their own PR time out of it. But generally it's about 5 that got to a very advanced stage of their partnership relationship during this activity. Those are the known ones. There are others, obviously, that are in the making and continue to do their due diligence related work and ensure that they understand who they're likely to partner with.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Private Sector Commission, PSC, Eddie Boyer, noted that the organization has had a great success meeting a number of industry operators and players during the course of the summit and exhibition.
There's been an experience for the last 2 days. I think the Guyanese businesses has learned a lot. I want to say, importantly, we've learned also from meetings we've had with oil companies, namely Chevron and others, is that one should not build or invest in anticipation. And I think that is something we need to look at. Our businesses shouldn't assume in whatever business you're doing that our company would give you a part of whatever you're bidding for, or you win the contract, or if you lose the contract, you'll be subcontracted. I think you need to be more secured in your businesses, and that's what we learned, rather than going random.
GIPEX 2018 was hosted by the Ministry of Natural Resources. GoInvest was the lead organizing agency, and ExxonMobil was the strategic partner. The aim was to facilitate awareness of the industry, networking, and capacity building between potential investors and local companies. A total of 600 delegates, including some 200 companies, both local and international, participated in the business summit and exposition. GoInvest will be creating a database to ensure that participants can remain in contact and network after the summit. This was a special Info Hub edition which focused on the inaugural Guyana International Business Summit and Exhibition, GIPEX 2018. Thanks for watching. Remember to connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.